to eastern and southern Kentucky. This is WYMT Mountain News at 6.
A young southern Kentucky man is dead after a violent crash. It happened on Kentucky 1247 in Pulaski County. WYMT's Phil Pendleton spoke to people about the tragic event.
This crash happened just after 1 o'clock on Thursday afternoon. A truck carrying a cattle trailer was heading north here on 1247. There is a side swiping with another pickup truck, and then a pickup truck carrying that cattle trailer literally ended up in a woman's front yard.
I mean, it was just awful, awful.
Sarah Evans came home Thursday afternoon to a crash that had just happened. A truck and cattle trailer were in her front yard. The truck had just hit a tree.
Because you can see how big that tree is, and it took it completely up out of the ground. It ain't like he just hit it and it broke in two. I mean, it went completely up out of the ground.
State police say that 21-year-old Bryson Goff died in the crash. Several cattle were killed as well.
I just feel for his family. I mean, you know, to lose, I have a daughter the exact same age, and that's the first thing I thought of. I thought, God, I couldn't stand, you know, knowing that I lost my child.
And we are learning an awful lot more about Bryson Goff. He's just 21 years old, heavily involved in the FFA when he was in high school, heavily involved in farming, and simply just a fine young man. In Pulaski County, Phil Pendleton, now back to you.
All right, thank you, Phil. Kentucky State Police in London are still investigating the cause of the crash. School officials in Magoffin County confirmed they investigated a reported inappropriate communication between a middle school teacher and a high school student. They say the incident happened on Tuesday. The school system released a statement to WYMT today. The statement says the teacher is no longer employed at the school, and the situation has been turned over to the Kentucky State Police and the Cabinet for Health and Family Services. The statement also says, in part, we take the safety of our children seriously and want their parents and families to know that their safety, education, and best interest are always our priority. The Harlan County Sheriff's Office is asking for your help finding two men they say tried to kidnap a child in the Pansy community. The incident happened off of West Highway 72. Deputies C.J. Reed and Jacob Rich are investigating the incident. If you have any information, you are asked to call the Harlan County Sheriff's Office at 606-573-1313.
Well, most of us are dry across the mountains right now, but we are tracking possibly a few sprinkles, especially over the Cumberland Valley. As you can see, showers moving from the northwest off to the south and east. So just a heads up, if you live in Wayne County, over towards Campbell and Claiborne counties as well, possibly a few showers into this evening, also into tonight as well. But we are tracking some higher rain chances by Sunday, also into early next week, possibly a few storms on your Sunday as well. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But temperatures right now, middle to upper 70s, 78 for Manchester, 74 in London, 77 over in Somerset, sitting at 70 right now over in Wise. So we are looking at mild weather to continue into this evening and into tonight as well. Temperatures falling into the lower 50s, possibly some upper 40s as you wake up tomorrow morning. And again, only a small chance of a stray shower tonight. Most of us are dry, but like I said, we are tracking some showers and maybe a few storms by your Sunday. That full forecast coming up in just a few minutes. Olivia?
Thank you, Cameron. The Letcher County Recreation Center was heavily damaged during the July floods. The bowling alley, conference rooms, and basketball court were destroyed. Now, more than 9 months after the flood, the basketball court is almost ready to reopen. Lines have been painted and waxing is set to begin soon. Jeremiah Johnston is the director at the Rec Center. He says the court is important for the center and the community.
You know, we're going on, what, 10 months now without having a basketball court, and there's really no other place. Everybody's been affected by the flood, so there's really no place to go and play, and every day somebody's asking, when are we going to play ball, when are we going to play ball? So it'll be good to have everybody back in here.
Johnston says the court should be ready for gym goers by the end of next week. Getting rid of the stigma surrounding substance abuse is a big goal for many addiction recovery organizations. WYMT's Chandler Wilcox details how One Hazard Treatment Center put together a rally to make their voices heard.
It was the first community event Mountain Comprehensive Care's Intensive Outpatient Center in Hazard had put together.
I prayed about it and just kind of put it in God's hands, and we got an awesome team. And for it to be our first one is truly amazing.
Multiple organizations showed up in support with a crowd of people recovering from substance abuse on hand. Once testimonies of overcoming battles were shared, emotion spread among those seeing they are not alone.
When I was using, I didn't know what any of that felt like. I shied away from everyone around me, and our program tries to get people out in the community and be a part of stuff.
Not only were sympathies expressed, but organizations shared connections within the community that can help through the recovery process.
We network with people in our community to make sure that the recovery process, whatever is needed, that we direct people to the people who can take care of their recovery.
And lending a helping hand through the first steps of recovery, they also celebrated sobriety. Coordinator Ruby Gayhart will reach her 10-year anniversary of sobriety on May 6th.
And I know it's by the grace of God. Recovery's been beautiful, but God had been in the midst of that even before I rededicated my life. He loves the just and unjust. There's no way I could have done it on my own. I had a willing heart. That's what it takes.
Decreasing the power of addiction one step at a time. In Hazard, Chandler Wilcox, WYMT Mountain News.
Organizers also gave away donations from the community, including clothes and toys for anyone in need.
Well, right now the radar is quiet for most of us, but that could change by Sunday. Those details coming up next.
A golf tournament in Floyd County means a little more this year as it honors a fallen police officer and Shriner. And fans filled Churchill Downs today for the running of the Kentucky Oaks. We introduce you to some of the folks who say the race is an experience of a lifetime.